Is this overhyped Disney dining?
Princess the Bear, today we're at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort because we are somewhere lost in the jungles of the village.
We're going to Ohana.
Yes, it's time to return to that hallowed place on the top floor of Polynesian Village Resort because as your number one choice of foodie for entertainment, we're here to try all the family's food so you don't have to. Remember, she's vegan. I'm not. Nobody gets left behind or hungry.
It's time to foodie and chill.
So the house staple, this wonderful pineapple coconut bread, basically pull-apart bread, very similar to what you get at Kona and at Sebastian's Bistro over at Caribbean Beach Resort. Difference here is you're getting their staple butter with honey. Not honey butter, butter with honey on top. Not mad at that. Decidedly not vegan, but the stock bread isn't vegan anyway. So just give it a little rub because I don't want too much. It's always a funny thing to say that I love this bread because I do love it, but I hate the aftertaste. You get like this powdery coconut flavor aftertaste. The bread itself, warm, like the soft on the inside. I love like the powdery outside. It's just the aftertaste. Isn't bad, it's just abrupt. But I love the addition of the butter with the honey. I want to do that with Earth Balance and agave at home. Probably will do that at some point. I've been experimenting with mixing things into our Earth Balance at home. I give this 4 out of 5 plus.
I feel like I have been super spoiled lately with some of the places that we have been going to. I have been getting a special vegan bread at most of those places. So it has now been a while since I have had late Chef Mike bread. And, you know, Chef Mike bread never changes. It just becomes hard. When you leave it, no, that doesn't come out right. That's not what I meant at all. Scratch that. So let's just smother Chef Mike bread in Earth Balance butter because this is the one time where the one type of bread I feel needs Earth Balance in unhealthily copious amounts. Because I smothered it in butter, it tastes like butter. And not much else. Chef Mike bread is a sponge. A dense sponge of nothingness. And what did I have it as recently? Oh, Tonga toast. It was much better as Tonga toast. I would give it a 2 out of 5 Chef Mike breads. If you don't zhuzh up the butter and you don't zhuzh up the bread, you're not getting anything nice out of me. I need to be zhuzhed.
This is me coming to you as a bear. And when I say coming to you, I mean specifically restaurant owners and Disney culinary to give the vegans, the plant-based community, our gluten-free friends a little bit of sparkle in their lives. You'd be surprised how easy they are to make happy. We are in the Polynesian Resort. A little bit of Hawaiian sea salt. I'm sure somewhere somebody has some. Till then, it's plain Jane Earth Balance. I'm glad Earth Balance exists, though, because they could just give you nothing. But, you know, a little bit of magic, a little bit of Hawaiian Salt Bay dusting, if you will. I would say that is a top-tier example of the allergy-free rolls. Nice and soft, very warm. They take well to the butter. Not overly dense. They are exactly what you expect, and their existence is appreciated. 3.25 out of 5 plus.
And now we have the salad. I feel like they added some accoutrements to this salad. Bear was crazy enough to let me actually do the whole pour and just pour it on the entire salad. I didn't think he would let me do that because he's not somebody that likes their salad dressed. And I do like my salad dressed. So, I mean, I thought maybe we would compromise and just dress our own salads, but he wants me to do it. So here we go. It is covered, and now it is getting tossed. I am doing a really bad job at this, but that is because of the utensils that I was given. But if I do not toss this salad in its entirety, Bear is going to hate it because he does not like an overdressed salad. All right, I feel like Bear's going to judge this salad super hard based on how I tossed it. So, I don't know. I'm feeling some type of way about that right now. I feel like I'm gonna get hated on. I think Bear's gonna give it a bad review, and it's gonna be all my fault. And then what am I gonna do? I got pocket parm. Maybe I'll just douse it in pocket parm. So here's my salad. It's dressed. It's wet. It's ready to go to the party, like Cinderella. Cheers. I think I cheated a little bit because I ate a tomato, and you can't like overdress a tomato because the dressing just slides right off, so everything else soaks it in. I did get some onion in my bite, so that is also a little bit overpowering. The citrus is actually kind of subtle, almost like a key lime situation, but I know that's not what it is, but it is very subtle, and I'm not mad at it. I do think it needs pocket parm. I don't think I'm going to be eating a lot of this salad. I think depending on what kind of ingredient you get, so if you get like a lot of peppers in your scoop, or if you get a lot of onions in your scoop, or a lot of carrots in your scoop, it's going to taste more like that than just, like a beautifully dressed salad. Not my favorite salad. If I'm comparing this to Sebastian's Bistro, though, I might take this one over that one. I'll give this a 4 out of 5 salads. It's a thing that has happened in our lives.
The princess spits honest game. You would be surprised how truly picky I am as somebody that consumes a lot of meat about how my salads are dressed. I love a good garden salad, a non-garden salad, a seafood salad, a salad period. You put salad into something, on most things, I'm probably going to like it. But yes, too much dressing to me is a bad thing. This dressing, well, nice. I'm not a huge fan of like citrus dressings, but I'm going to give it its due. One critique, non-cut tomatoes. Because I hate chasing them across a plate. I just hate it. There we go. It's a nice balance of the citrus and the tang. Though it is a unique salad to the Polynesian, I feel like it doesn't go far enough to island-y. It's just a dressing, but nothing else unique within the salad itself that would scream island to me. I got carrots, tomatoes, lettuce, and red onion. It's okay. And it's tasty. It works well as an appetizer, but not so much as like a Polynesian style salad, you know what I mean? I give that 3.5 out of 5 claws.
I told Bear to pick the first thing that we're gonna eat, and he chose the nudes. We're not sharing nudes, we're just eating nudes. So, if you wanna go like super throwback on our channel, we actually have a recipe of these noodles on our channel that we did like pre-pandy. It's been a while. I love these noodles. I will get them all the time when we go to Tambu Lounge. Tambu Lounge serves pieces of the Ohana menu after 4 p.m. Like 4 to 9, I think it is, or 4 to 10, something like that. But either way, delicious noodles. They are on the pineapple side, but even somebody like me that's not a huge pineapple person, like I love these noodles. Like you cannot, if they take these noodles off the menu, everyone will riot, and have in the past. So they are a 5 out of 5. They are a Princessity's item. And though Ohana in general is not what it used to be pre-pandy, one thing that has never changed are these nudes. And classic nudes should always be in the mix.
One of the most fabulous things about the nudes here at Ohana and Tambu is they are vegan as is, require 0 modifications. So vegans, vegetarians, you can eat the nudes here to your heart's content. And honestly, after you check out our actually making of these at home, it's really not a whole lot to these. It's really just like a pineapple ginger sauce with the noodles tossed in it. Maybe some veggies, if you shall wish. These noodles are such a staple of Ohana, both in flavor, consistency, and just the way that they've been here. If you try to remove them, you will cause a second riot. And yes, there was a previous riot to keep these nudes. The nudes will remain. Noodles, for those of you not in the know, they're delicious. Home style, I love it. 4 out of 5 claws.
The other commonality that Bear and I share is this veggie stir fry, which I really like. You get some cabbages and stuff in here. Now, it's great when you stir this into the nudes. It's delicious. Or you could put it with the Beyond sausage. Anything that you put with Beyond sausage is great. There is an Asian noodle salad downstairs at Captain Cook's that Bear had recently when we went to Gasparilla and did their menu update. And I feel like it's a mixture of this with just like plain noodles downstairs. But somehow this mixture is just a lot more flavorful. Even though it's literally the same thing, it's so good. And I could mix it with the noodles and get something similar to what Captain Cook serves downstairs. But for some reason, they don't sauce it downstairs. And that is where you lose me. You need to sauce your food. So because this is sauced well and seasoned well, it definitely does a lot better than Captain Cook's. I would give this a 4.75 out of 5 veggies. This is what, like, if you want a steamed veggie situation, this is the one for you. It's just really good.
We love a good vegetable stir fry. All the fixings. You have mushrooms in here. There's some water chestnuts, carrots, baby corn, all the things we'd include in our stir fry at home because we are wok people. We swear by our wok. We use our wok to cook most anything. We even cook tofu in our wok. Delicious. Big. Baby corn's a little huge, but that's not going to stop me from eating it. This makes me want to be wearing the shortest of shorts, like 3-inch inseam Hawaiian shirt with no undershirt, unbuttoned, with a flat top grill, a nice island beverage, and the sound of the ocean. Just based off that. Excellent stir fry. Nice crunch, cooked, but not like soggy of being like cooked too much. Excellent. Give that 4 out of 5 claws.
And so we have the deep fried edamame dumpling that is green inside. But you know what? I love a good dumpling. Dumplings are amazing. They need sauce. These ones are supposedly sauced. Maybe you need extra sauce here. Personally, when I cook a dumpling like this, it's a pot sticker, so I don't pan fry it. It comes off a different way. The pan frying just makes it really crunchy. So if you like a crunchy dumpling, this is great. If you don't like something so crunchy, I don't know if this is going to be the one for you. For me, I would give it a 4 out of 5 dumplings. It is tasty. It's better than most of the frozen dumplings that Bear has tried to get me to try at like the Asian store. But it's still, I don't know. I think it needs a little more. Maybe some soy sauce or something. I don't know. Something. It needs sauce.
Nice dumpling. I love dumplings of all sorts. Part of what got us started in making this channel, right before we started, we made a trip to New York where we did basically like a food tour. And we went like nuts. We filmed a lot of that, but that was like in the very beginning. We just started just figuring out what we were doing. So we never posted that, but like we went dumpling nuts. Walking all around Chinatown trying to find like the best dumplings, from the princess, some for me. And honestly, I love dumplings, whether they be like steamed or fried, or if you see me in an Asian grocery store around town, yeah, that's me. Except for H Mart. We haven't been there yet. We keep debating if we want to make a video of that or not, but we will eventually make it there too. But I digress. That crunch, that gives me joy. That realigns my soul. That gets me away from the bustle of whatever I-4 is, the rest of things going on in Florida, and I am transported. I love that they're filled to the brim, you know, like the hollow spots, got the crispy edges, but then the main part is still sort of not overly cooked. That's a delicious vegetable dumpling. Lightly sauced, but it seems to be overly so. I would give that 4.25 out of 5 claws. So for my non-vegan family, carnists, and flexitarians, you get pork dumplings. Nice, crispy, juicy looking pork dumplings. Looking good, looking tasty, looking great. That is a delicious seasoned, juicy pork dumpling with the right amount of crunch on the edges that I like. The pork could just be plain boring pork, but no, it is seasoned to perfection, nice and juicy. It is an excellent dumpling. So much that if it dumped me, I would be okay with that. I give that 4.25 out of 5 claws. The one extra item you get on your plate as a flexitarian, as a meat eater, you get these like glistening, crispy chicken wings. So you're getting double the chicken on our regular skillets. Tasty, sweet, tangy, and non-breaded. The way I love my wings. That's a 4.5 out of 5 claws. More of these, please. The delicious, beautiful peel and eat shrimp, skin on, tail on, little danglies on. Now they have tried to replace this before with a shrimp bake, and I won't mince words, that was awful. Cheesy, greasy, disgusting mess. The likes I haven't seen since the days where I thought T-Rex was a good restaurant. And yes, that is me throwing shade at how awful T-Rex is. But these, I'm excited for. I'm a shrimpy boy. I love a good plate of sea roach. Even if I got to do all the work myself, pulling this skin off. I'm doing an awful job. They're going to take away my island card for this. Do we give out island cards? Or I just did not get invited to the next cookout? Hopefully I don't get disowned. That nice like seafood boil shrimp flavor to it. The shrimp are cooked perfectly, they're not rubbery and stuff like that. The skin are crispy. Now, if you're feeling bold and you're one of those people, you can eat it with the shell on. People do it. I have done it. When I get a nice crispy seasoned shell, I'll eat that too. Now, sometimes there are some side effects and some choices like that. But if you're here, I assume like us, you commit to your mistakes. Today, I'm being somewhat of a house-trained bear, and it's a shell off. That's a tasty shrimp either way. Dig in, get more, pile it high. You won't find many more places around this place that you're going to get all you can care to enjoy shrimp. So if you like shrimp, this will be the place for you. Give that 4 out of 5 claws.
I am starting with the most boring meat on this plate. And why am I saying that? Not because it's a Beyond sausage, but because it's just a Beyond sausage. There should be its own sauce on here. Or like a little side sauce for you to dip. I think the moral of the story of Ohana is that it needs sauce. Now there is some from this beef here, so I'm just gonna like do a little dunky dunk. Look at that. See, that is how you should be on meat. Not plain, not dry, sauced. The Beyond just tastes like Beyond, but I will say, Ohana, they cook Beyond for breakfast and dinner. So, these chefs are super experienced on how to cook Beyond and how to cook it properly. There was a time when it was first introduced to this restaurant where you didn't know what you were going to get. Sometimes it was under, sometimes it was ridiculously over crispy, crunchy. Now I think they've cooked enough of it for everyone in the kitchen to figure out how to cook it, and they do it right. So I would say Ohana is a model location for how to cook Beyond sausage. Now it just needs sauce, and I'm going to be happy. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 Beyond sausages. It's losing points because it doesn't have its own dedicated sauce, but it gained points in how well it was cooked and executed.
Little Princess and the Bear tip outside of Disney World. It's not a theme park tip. This isn't a eating out at a restaurant tip. This is if you have somebody that's plant-based or vegan or flexitarian in your life, and you are showing love to them and cooking for them an alt meat. I know it'd be very easy to assume it's like, hey, it's a meat analog. I cook that the same as I do my own meat. That is not the case. The package instructions for alt meat for vegans is very specific. If you have doubts, I would always say tend to overcook than undercook. Undercooked alt meat is not fun. Overcooked, at least it gets a little bit crispy. Don't dry it out, mind you. Be mindful, but don't undercook it, for sure. So, when we tell you that we trust the chefs here at Ohana to cook alt meat, that's because there are some chefs, not their fault, around Walt Disney World and Universal who have gotten Beyond Meat so very wrong. And let me tell you, that is not a good time. It's wondrous, the difference just a little bit of sauce makes on the Beyond Meat. It takes the standard sausage and just sort of gives it sea wings. I want to go with sea wings. Just like little glidey, sparkly. I don't know where I'm going with this, but that's delicious. I like that. But Terry, with that sauce that's on there, I could eat 4 of these easily. I give this a 3.95 out of 5 claws. I'm avoiding a 4 because I still feel like it could be a little bit better, but this is still probably some of the best Beyond Meat with the sauce you can get on property. Well, I will be included in the discussion that I miss what Ohana used to be. I don't love to harp on what it used to be. We all live in a very different world than we lived in 6 years ago, and things have had to change. And harping on what no longer is, I think, disrespects some of the culinary staff here because they work very hard to give you top-tier product. But if anything in here has taken a hit, by any means, since the changes in this restaurant, it is probably the beef. You do get a family-style helping of beef when you come from normal skillet. Since it's just me at the table, they give me a personal skillet. For me, that's perfectly fine because this is literally going to be the only one that I eat. Not because it's bad, just because if I have to choose beef, it's going to be my last choice of extras. Now, for those of you who are meat connoisseurs, I'm going to give you a little quiz. How would you say that's cooked? Our temperature people, comment. Let me know where you think this is on a scale. Is this somebody you're inviting back, or are you kicking them out of your house and never inviting them back? If I'm looking, and honestly, again, I'm not an expert, I'm saying closer to medium than anything. Give me some sauce and a little bite. In consuming it, I think my rating of medium was pretty close. I would say medium to medium rare, but closer to medium than anything. It's very tender. It takes to the sauce very well. It is a delicious, tender piece of hunk of beef. Hunkier than me. I think it's delightful. I think that's much better than some of the like strip steaks you see at some of like Disney buffets. And I think it's worthy of Ohana. I think, obviously, it could be always a place where you can improve. But if you want your share of the beef, they're going to give it to you. Give that 3.75 out of 5 claws.
Now, this is an item that I had recently when Trader Sam's updated their menu. They added this Gardein beef tips with yuca fries, which were absolutely amazing. It made me wanted to come back to Ohana. That is part of the reason why we are here today, because I was like, Bear, I want these again. So I love it with the broccoli. And they're just, you know, little soft tips of goodness. Typically, this is a meat you only find at Universal. So it's rare when Disney has it, and also I think interesting that it's only the Polynesian. These are cooked really well, and I think this is another example of how the kitchen just has enough experience to cook this correctly to make it completely appetizing, especially for somebody that may have never had this before and is trying Gardein for the first time, which we highly encourage. Even if you're coming here and not getting the plant-based food, ask for like an option or two and just try it, because this is all you care to enjoy. And why not try something new that you don't have to pay extra for if you want to? So the chefs up here should probably give a cooking class to the chefs downstairs at Trader Sam's, because they're new still, so the way that they cook theirs is a little more like mushy, a little more soft. The way they cook it here is like perfectly crisp and beautifully sauced. So amazing. I would give it a 5 out of 5. It is a Princess Cities item, and it's rare when you can find something delicious Gardein. Like Whispering Canyon has it, but it's not as good as this. So I want to say this is the best on Disney property. Probably not as good as what some of the offerings Universal has, but for Disney, this is the best.
Now, the last time we came to Ohana was basically right after these dropped. I think like the first 2 days that these plant-based beef tips were added to the menu. And we did speak to the chef like before and then almost directly after. If you ever do speak with any part of Disney culinary, They're very proud of what they do. You can give them honest feedback. They love critiques on the ways that things improve. And honestly, at the time, our only critique was they probably needed to be cooked longer. But honestly, with the amount of alt meat that they cook compared to every other restaurant, there's really no doubt in our minds that they were going to nail it after they got more experience with it. So I am curious to see how has it improved since last time we came here, because I have so much faith in their abilities here. That is night and day better than the first time we had it. I think they've gotten the cook on it just right, just enough to give it some firmness, but not enough to like dry it out, and it's not mushy, and it takes to the sauce very well. They give you plenty of sauce, where before I think maybe they didn't give you enough. Now you have tons of sauce, sort of like sop it up, and that makes it so much better. You're getting the beefy flavor, you're getting the smoky flavors. I feel like this is like giving our plant-based and vegan community a nice analog to eat next to the normal skillets. I don't want our brothers, sisters, they and them to feel like they're missing out on anything, and this goes a long way for that. Look at this, 4.25 out of 5 claws. We come to what has routinely been my most favorite-ist, and I mean that in the most grammatically incorrect way possible, part of the skillet is the roasted chicken, because I am a chicken fiend, and chicken from the grill, whoa. If I'm getting seconds of anything, it's probably going to be this. They brought me probably the biggest portion of this, of any of the meats, and I'm not going to say they know me well enough to know that, but I'm just glad I got more of this than anything. I would ask for more anyway, but I'm glad that I have so much up front. Look at that char. There's one thing I will say about roasted chicken, is that if you've never had perfectly cooked roasted chicken over a fire, like an open flame, you are missing out. That smokiness, the juiciness, the way that it just locks in the flavor, like behind the smokiness and not like overpowering with the smoke, the way that just sort of like explodes in your mouth. It reminds me of my days as a Boy Scout and a Cub Scout. Yes, I was a Boy Scout. Not an Eagle Scout, not that far, but I was a Boy Scout at one point in time. Who knows where I went wrong? I do. Excellent chicken. 4.5 out of 5 claws.
This is one of the newer vegan options available here at Ohana. We got this last time that we came. This is a Impossible chicken strip, and they put a special sauce on here. Yeah, these are very large strips. I got 2 of them stuck here, and I only want 1. There we go. But still, that's going to be difficult to like fit in your mouth. It's a big little curl. It's bigger than a soy curl. I really feel like Ohana is one of those places where it doesn't really matter if you have an alt meat or a tofu or a veggie. What matters is the sauce and how you sauce it. So the Impossible is like a blank slate, and the sauce has like a peanut like taste to it. So it's giving you little islands, reminding me of the luau that they used to have here at the Polynesian. There was some dishes on there that had like that same like peanutty flavor, so I like that. It's giving me nostalgia, but honestly, it could have been cauliflower. I could have taken this as cauliflower or Impossible, doesn't matter. TVP, soy curls, like all the things. I don't need the alt meats, but what I do need is a sauce. And this is an okay sauce to me. Not as good as what they put the beef tips in, but it's a good sauce. I will give it a 4 out of 5 chickens. It's rare when you can find a place that actually cooks Impossible chicken well. And if we have said anything multiple times in this video already, they know how to make alt meat here at Ohana. So if you like alt meats, you got to come here.
There are those of you in the plant-based community that avoid places that may be considered like a steakhouse, or you feel cook too much meat, and you have many, many valid reasons. And as a non-vegan, I probably don't have much of a soapbox to stand on, but every once in a while, I do get preachy too. You have never had a place that served as much alt meat all you care to enjoy as you do at Ohana. The only place that has ever come even remotely close is probably Whispering Canyon. Your support is needed to ensure that places like this continue to grow across Walt Disney World. So even though maybe if you have some hang-ups, I can understand not eating here, I wouldn't shy people away from eating here because in the long run, I think it's good for everybody, both vegans and non-vegans alike, giving the chefs more experience of cooking things that aren't necessarily the main and getting you more of the things that you enjoy. So I very much appreciate that this alt chicken is here because I want to see more of it in more places. That's my ish. That's my favorite alt meat in this skillet, by far. I need this on a bed of actually well-cooked rice. You know who I'm talking to. I need some broccoli. I need some other stir-fried veggies in there. I need this as a vegetable bowl with the alt chicken at both Captain Cook's and Trader Sam's. You can take the beef tips. I don't care about those. Or keep them as an option, but maybe you trade them out as an option. You have both in this hotel. Let us get the bowls with alt chicken or alt beef. Why shouldn't our plant-based community have options as well? That is excellent, and honestly, I would steal it from the princess if I didn't have so much of my own food to eat. 4.75 out of 5 claws.
This is the pineapple coconut dessert, similar to the one that they have at Sebastian's Bistro. Our server admitted that she liked the vegan one better than the regular one, and I love to hear that. Now it does have the soyo on top, and then the beautiful pudding. This is like pudding. This is very moist, very hot. Let's just say that it's hot. Look at that. That looks gorgeous. I feel like there's some cinnamon action in there. Ooh, I just dropped it. Thankfully back in the bowl. Wow. That would have been messy. You know, they have a glaze that they put on the one at Sebastian's. I don't get one here. I love the pudding. It's very like soft and sweet, but not too sweet. And then when you have the coldness of the ice cream, it just makes a nice little balance. It's like having a beautiful pie a la mode. What is it? There's a dessert, a vegan dessert over at Hollywood and Vines / 50s Primetime at Hollywood Studios. It has the same kind of like beautiful soft hotness with a very cold ice cream that's vegan on top, giving me the same vibes. I don't think this is the same dessert as Sebastian's, but I do think it's very similar. I would give it a 4 out of 5 desserts. You can order this over at Tambu, but with the vegan one, they only make so many, so it's actually harder to get than the regular. The regular one, they'll let everybody get it, no problem. The vegan one, they only make so many, so you have a better chance of getting one if you go to Tambu closer to like 8 or 9 p.m., whereas if you go to Sebastian's, you can go to Banana Cabana at any time after 4, and they will be more than happy to get you one. So understand that too. It's an experience. 4 out of 5 pineapples.
Speaking specifically as somebody who considers himself to be an islander, both in birth and the early part of my life, I just want to say one thing to both the Polynesian Resort and the Caribbean. You can do better than a coconut bread ice cream deal for dessert. There are other desserts on the islands you can pick from. You don't both need to have the same dessert. I know there's an unspoken war between who provides the better tropical experience, Caribbean, as both a region of the planet and a resort, and then the Polynesian islands, you both do the tropics different. That means you can do desserts different. I don't need similar desserts at both resorts. But I digress. Back to the bread pudding. It's coconutty. It's cold. It's hot. It's everything in between. Just like your ex. I will say I love the consistency of this one. That softer texture, the way that it sort of like forms better into the soy ice cream works a lot better. That consistency feels more uniform, less like they're fighting each other, more like they blend together rather well, both in heat and in texture. That is quite tasty. That 4.25 out of 5 claws. Somebody's ice cream hand was heavy today because I feel spoilt with the level of ice cream that I received on this pineapple coconut bread pudding here, and that plenty of the caramel sauce that people love on the side. Let's get this whole thing bathing caramel sauce. Yeah, this is what the people come for. The poor. That's probably way too much. But we commit to our mistakes. Whole lot of the bread, tiny bit of the cream, melts in the plate, not in your mouth. Honestly, I can see the appeal. Pineapple forward, coconut in the back end, ice cream, vanilla ice cream is delicious. The caramel sauce ties everything together. I will say, objectively, the consistency of the plant-based one is better. Now, if you don't believe me, you can try this for yourself here for no extra cost. If you want to try the plant-based dessert, you can simply ask for it. They will give it to you. This is tasty, but I'm going to have to give it a slightly lower rating because I think the consistency as far as how it eats in the plant-based version is slightly better. 4 out of 5 claws. I feel like we were treated like family.
I absolutely loved this meal compared to the last time that we ate here. Mad shout out to Chef Reggie and his wife for watching the channel, and we feel honored for having our advice taken from our last review and plussing up the plant-based food, and like it really shows.
It's night and day compared to when we tried it when it first dropped, and we said in that review that it was only just take time. They didn't need our input, just a matter of time, and they were going to master it. And believe me, in the short time that it's been, they have absolutely killed it with the all meats, the plant-based dishes there. Ohana, yes, isn't what it once was, but the spirit of it is still very much there. They still cook the food on skewers. You just don't get served it on skewers anymore, and it's still maintaining the quality that we're used to. Yes, technically the restaurant is under construction right now, but it's just the exterior. It's not really taken away from the restaurant itself. It's still got the very same vibes. It's a smidge darker inside, but not so much that I think it's going to ruin or bother your experience.
You can still see the castle and the fireworks, so that's fine.
They left room for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, I had another point I was going to make.
How much better the dessert was?
Well, the dessert was better. That is true. But no, there was something else you were just talking about. I don't remember now. It'll come to me after this video is over, and then I'll make him record it again. I don't know.
Probably. But we want to know what you guys think. Do you guys still consider Ohana to be one of those peak reservations that you seek when you come to Walt Disney World? Let us know in the comments below. Now, if there's anywhere else you consider to be a peak reservation or a place you would like us to go, of course, the comments will always be the place to find us. Hit the notification bell and we'll see other videos like this. And
we have new videos 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
We'll see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you don't comment, well, Bear's already an aqua bear. So maybe he'll go under the sea?
I'm swimming out to sea. But you heard that.